Hello everybody, welcome to Friday with Dannphan. I am here on a Friday. Has it been a long time since we've done one of these? I feel like we did one last week, but maybe I'm misremembering. So hopefully you guys have had a good week so far. We do have some new things to go over. New things have happened that we can actually talk a bit about. Yay! Isn't it always the best when we actually have topics for these streams? No, I think a lot of you actually enjoy tuning in because you can control the topic. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, I always have fun during these streams. So, first thing is first, I guess. We have new comics on the website. Of course. Yeah, you know, I gotta do the plug. I gotta do it. So, The Way Long Back issues 4 and 5 are up on the website. Digital, of course, but we do have physical copies as well. We've got the print bundles, which are new. So, you can actually get the original print bundle with all of the original covers. And then we also have the variant covers. Oh, well, I was hoping that it would just be underneath, but it wasn't. Now these are the variant covers. I used the variant covers on the website version, but yeah. So you can get them all bundled together in physical print because everybody loves to own the comics that they love. So these are left at, the reason why it has Hex Style Comics up at the top there is because these were leftovers from the original campaign that he ran. Hence why there are limited bundles for them. But if you would like to collect the print versions of The Way Long Back, you can do that now. It is up there on the website. Good romance, which is becoming more and more difficult to find here in the West. There's a bunch of good manga romances. There's a bunch of good manga romances that I can recommend to you. But very rarely do I come across good slice of life romances in the West. And we should have more of that, in my opinion. I know. It's so crazy for a woman to have that opinion. Us gals, we love the romance. It's true. I will not hide it any longer. I do love the romance. And we need more good romance. And, so yeah. I will offer to you the best of the West. Check out The Way Long Back if you would like to do that. I'll post a link. There. Link posted. There we go. So that's one thing that happened. We do need more good romance. Absolutely. I mean, are you seeing the stuff that I'm reading that is currently being pushed as romance for teens? This shit's nuts. And the only way that we can really combat the bad romance and all of the HIV stuff is that we absolutely need good romance. Balance it out a little bit, you know? So that people don't... Because so many people, especially in America, so many people have this pessimistic view of romance that it's always going to be some sort of cheating drama or something's going to be like really weird with it. You know, like there's always going to be some negative outcome from the romance, or some sort of heartbreak or something. And I don't like that people have that opinion. I'd like to change minds, I guess, of people, because romance can be something that you look at and feel good after looking at it, rather than feeling pessimistic and bummed out. But, you know, it really depends on what your exposure to romance is, I guess. There's a lot of, we were talking about this before with our friends, but there's a lot of romances that we grew up on that were maybe not exactly the best role models for how to act in a relationship. Oh, there's a lot of those, actually. Now they all just come back to me at once. But everybody is always like The Notebook. The Notebook. I'm like, maybe I'm misremembering it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But don't they hit each other in The Notebook? Like, isn't there this one scene where they're fighting and like she just starts slapping him? This is not what you're supposed to aspire towards when you're thinking about like the relationship that you would like to be in. It's insane. It's psycho stuff, you know? Bro, I hate The Notebook. Yeah, right? And so many people grew up on that movie, and in their head, that's like the perfect romance movie, but not really. It's not really a good role model for that romance. So yeah, none of that in The Way Long Back. None of that in any of my romances either. I'm not gonna do that to you, because I think you guys deserve a little better. But yeah, yeah, Twilight, that's another great example. That was a weird one. That was a really weird one. I heard that the books are maybe a little less weird than the movies, because a lot of the movies, part of what makes it so weird is the directing style. But I don't know, man. The story itself is a little bit eyebrow raising as well. Oh yes, he also threatens to kill himself if she doesn't like go out with him. That's right. She hits him all the time and cheats on her fiance later on. Oh, this is like a list of things that are super fucked. Yeah, I would never do that in a romance. That's crazy. If I wanted it to be pro that couple ending up together, I wouldn't do all of those things. Like, that seems so backwards. That's something that you would do with a relationship that you don't want the characters to end up together. You want them to be alone and miserable. Because all of that is just miserable stuff to write. Ugh. But yeah, yes. Not a fan of The Notebook. Not a fan. And like a lot of other romance movies, it's just two people fall in love and one of them dies. So don't ever fall in love, because if you actually fall in love, they're gonna die. And that's how it'll end. That's like the closest you ever get to a wholesome romance in the West, though, is when one of them dies. That's the best you're gonna get. Otherwise, it's just like cheating and abuse and all this crazy shit. We need better. We need to do better. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh god, I sound like one of those fucking freaks that says, do better. No. But yeah, so that is something exciting that happened, is that we get more issues of The Way Long Back. I love being able to promote and put out good romance stories. I will say Anthony's writing really does feel classic 90s with the way that he approaches the story. He just does it in a way like it feels like a 90s movie, but without all of the crazy stuff, you know, without the cheating, without the abuse, without all of that other nonsense. There's no threatening to kill yourself if the girl won't date you. No. You know? And I mean, I guess this isn't really a spoiler, but nobody dies at the end of The Way Long Back. Like, it's not gonna be two people fall in love and one of them dies either. So I feel like we have the good parts of like 90s movie writing without any of the tropey things that kind of ruin a romance. That's my interpretation of it, and that's you know why I liked it so much and why I wanted to put it on the website. And obviously the art is fantastic. So there you go. That's how it is. My favorite version of that is two people fall in love and one of them is already dead. Yeah. Okay. That's a real, Twilight soundtrack is also amazing. I don't remember Twilight soundtrack. Didn't they have like 1,000 Years, that song playing at the end of one of their movies? That's the only one I remember. Oh wait, Iris. Was Iris a song for one of the movies? I remember Iris. That was a good song. I don't really remember anything else though. That's all like kind of pop songs, right? So all they had to do was like get the rights. Yeah, I don't remember anything else. To me, the appeal of Twilight was such that I very much bonded with a very good friend over making fun of that trash. Yeah, well, you see that a lot more recently, especially on YouTube. The internet goes through these waves, right? When something first comes out, you can't talk bad about it, otherwise the fandom goes after you and bullies you into submission. But then once it's been out for a while and more people admit that it's trash, they're all of the people who couldn't say it was trash when it first came out come out of the woodwork to now say that it was trash. And then you get this wave of people shitting on it way later after it came out. But yeah. No, it was all alt-rock, was it? The Killers, Seawolf, Death Cab for Cutie, OK Go, and more? I don't remember. I don't remember those songs. Granted, I think I only actually watched the first two Twilight movies. And then I just heard about what happens in the other movies. So I fell off pretty quick, not gonna lie. Then again, how many movies are there? Like 4 or 5? There's a weird number of movies, I'm sure. Maybe it was just the album's name. Hello, Dannphan in chat. Welcome. We were just talking about a crappy romance in the West. And why we need to support good romance stories. Am I right, guys? Let's see. As a love story, Twilight does suck, though. I won't deny that. Piano themes are all well scored. You know, now that you've said that, you've like unlocked a memory from the deep recesses of my mind. I think I do remember listening to one of the piano scores from Twilight just on YouTube at one point in my life. I don't remember when, but maybe you're onto something. Maybe I should look into that. Let's see. Breaking Dawn Part 2 was the best of the series, but it still wasn't good. They actually gave them about half a personality in that one. Yeah, I have no idea. When Shrek was one of the best love stories of the early 2000s. Well. What are you gonna do? All we can do now is try to make up for lost time. Make better romances. I've got a couple romances in the back pocket also. There's some where I'd like to do something where it focuses on romance. And then there's others where romance is like a side thing, you know, tagged on to the main story. But yeah, I think it'd be good to do some genuine, wholesome romance stories out. Just throw them out there just so that they exist somewhere, so that people can find some wholesome romance stories, and instead of only finding the super messed up ones. I think that would be great. Now let's see, a new Avatar series was announced. Oh, that's right. They're doing a sequel to Legend of Korra. That's right. Oh, fuck. I almost forgot about that. Thanks for mentioning that, Captain Hyrule. So, Korra was the villain the whole time. The next Avatar is, like, reborn. And everybody immediately hates the Avatar because some catastrophic event happened and Korra was to blame for it. It probably has to do with, like, meshing the spirit world and the real world or something. I fell off so hard with Korra. I think I only watched, like, 1 or 2 episodes and then I hated it immediately. Actually, no, I think I hated the first episode immediately. Oh, and I remember talking to friends about it who had watched further than me at the time. And they would just be like, yeah, it's terrible, but I can't stop watching it. It's like, even back then, they were just hate watching it. Oh, God. I think I was, like, in first year of college? Or maybe I was still in high school, like, last year of high school. It was, like, around that time, though, when Korra came out. They just made her to be such an unlikable character. And then, once again, the romance drama that they shoehorned in there was just quite awful. It's quite screwy. Not a romance I would recommend getting invested in if you don't want to be horrifically disappointed. But yeah, I do prefer the original Avatar series. I know, such a hot take. I like the first Avatar series and I hate Korra. Yeah, I'm so edgy and different, aren't I? No, it's a very milquetoast taste, but I still recognize that the original Avatar series had its issues. There are some issues and contradictions within the writing, even with the first series. It's just not nearly to the degree that I noticed with Legend of Korra. Like, I can still enjoy the first Avatar series. There's a lot more character in the first series, and a lot more enjoyment, and a lot more, I guess, thinking with the writing, but I don't know. Korra just feels like they were making it up as they went along. And then they had the god-awful romance. You know what stings about the first Avatar series is kind of the finale, but not that I hate the finale exactly. There's just some things that they did when they were wrapping up the show that I don't really agree with. First of all, they never have Zuko actually, like, win against his sister. And it's just like, why? You spend, like, an entire season building up to that. And then he fucking gets shot by lightning. It would have been, even if, like, alright, even if Azula decides, I'm gonna shoot Katara with lightning, and he's like, oh, I gotta save Katara, I'm gonna jump in the way, he should have redirected it. He should have back at her. It would have been badass. It would have been cool. Why the fuck is Katara fighting Azula? I don't care about that fight. I'm not invested in whether or not Katara can beat Azula. I was invested in Zuko being able to beat Azula. It's just, yeah, it's... right? I'm not saying that I speak for the entire fandom. This is just how I felt about it. And I remember being very butthurt over that. I was like, okay, I guess this kind of makes sense, but it's not what I wanted to see. It's just not what I wanted. What can I say? And then, of course, you can't have the Avatar kill anybody, even though all the other Avatars before Aang have killed people, and also Aang has killed people before in the series. You know, like pushing people off of airships. I don't think they're gonna live after that fall, you know? I'm pretty sure they're dead down there, Aang. Just because you don't see blood does not mean that they are still alive. Just saying. But no, because I guess, I don't know, Nickelodeon executives did not want him to kill the Fire Lord. I don't care. I don't care if he kills the Fire Lord, but I don't know, maybe? Perhaps. They thought parents would care. Never mind the fact that he's killed other people. People die in Disney movies. It's kind of okay, right? But yeah, so they had to like shoehorn in something else and have him have some sort of moral dilemma with killing the Fire Lord, even though it's kind of a, you know, it's kind of an open shut case whether or not he should do it, but sure. So that's when they introduced the energy bending thing, and the energy bending thing was one of the worst parts of Korra, in my opinion, because they had to make it a canon after the first series. They had to make that canon. And unfortunately, it just goes down this whole other path, you know? Yeah, maybe they fell on pillows. There was water, it was fine. Yeah, nobody dies if they fall in the water. What are you gonna do? Aang was a 12-year-old pacifist. Well, he wasn't really. He fought all the time in the series. A pacifist is someone who does not fight and does not engage in violence. He was fighting. He was definitely fighting. Just because he wasn't well, he was killing some people, but even if we accept the idea that he was not killing anybody, he was still fighting. He was still actively fighting against people. It's not exactly being a pacifist, you know? Yeah, or had parachutes. Yeah, maybe. I certainly... There's that one clip that goes around all the time when people review the first Avatar, is, I've certainly never used violence to take a life, and then it cuts to Aang, like, wind blasting someone off a mountain. It's like, oh yeah, he's fine, trust me. I've certainly never used violence to take a life. There was no blood, so I guess he's okay. That's how that works, right? Fuck. He's super dead. Man. But yeah, and I never saw the new Netflix live action Avatar series either. I have heard a couple people review it and say that it was not that good. And, well, they always say the same thing. They say it was better than the first live action movie, but it was still not very good. And once again, I do find a lot of humor in seeing the clips of Katara just being like, haha, how am I doing this water bending? I'm not even trying, and I'm just so good. That was one of the best parts of the original series, too. It really was one of the best parts about it, is that you got to see characters that were not good at doing bending or fighting progressing and getting better and better at it. It was very satisfying. So the Netflix series just being like, I'm not even trying, and I'm so good at waterbending. It's a huge swing and a miss, my dude. That's not fun at all. That's a good quote. It was the fall that killed them, not me. There you go. Yeah, great logic. Indiana Jones 3 falling off an airship onto luggage. Yeah, getting in the refrigerator. then he'll be totally safe. But yeah. Never saw the Netflix live action, but I do find all of that stuff humorous. Thoughts on Netflix's Voltron, since we're talking about Avatar? Didn't see it. Blatantly honest with you, I just didn't see it. I remember when the original Voltron series was like going around and people were saying, oh, it has so much potential. Which was, you know, it's a compliment, but it wasn't really that that much of a compliment. It's like a very mid compliment. Like, yes, this could be very good. It's like, okay, but then it didn't go anywhere. It got canceled, right? So I don't know. Voltron let me down. Ah, sorry to hear that, man. Netflix has let me down quite a lot. Gotta be honest. And at this point, my expectations for Netflix adaptations are fairly low. Even the Netflix anime, my expectations are fairly low. It's honestly kind of a twist when I enjoy something that Netflix puts out. Let's see. Season 1 was alright. They killed off Zarkon really early on, and then just spun their wheels for the rest of the seasons. That's a shame. Sorry. I get the hiccups quite often, it seems. Adam pointed it out to me. He's like, why are you always hiccuping? Like, alright. It's still better than Disney's handling of anime. Have they gotten more anime? The last time I saw an anime that Disney dubbed was Summertime Rendering, and it was not a very good dub. It's not very good. It wasn't the worst dub I had ever heard in my life, but it was very normal bad, you know? People like mispronouncing characters' names and terrible voice actors playing some characters. But you know, it wasn't completely horrendous. It's just what it was. But I don't know what other anime Disney has been dubbing. Did you like Netflix's Castlevania? No, I dipped out after episode 1. There's another one I dipped out after episode 1. But I heard about the later seasons and where other people dipped out of the show. It's really crazy. The certain directions that they decided to go with the property that was Castlevania. It's not where I would expect it to go. I've enjoyed that show only from like AMVs of fight scenes from that show. But the actual writing? No thank you. That's fine. Can we just get the animation but then mute the audio? I think that would be preferable. Yeah, I know. Hot takes. I can't say that I was a big fan. OMG's Summertime Rendering, Disney ruined that. Disney dubbed an anime? Disney has dubbed a lot of anime. I mean, not that they are a dubbing studio, they're not, but they've localized anime before. They've done a few Ghibli films, like Spirited Away was dubbed by Disney. And I think that was a pretty good dub. I actually really liked Spirited Away dub. Maybe that's because of nostalgia, because I grew up on it, but I think the voices were on point. I understood what was happening. You know. You get the voice of Haku was the voice of Max from a Goofy movie. You couldn't pick a better guy, huh? No, it was a good movie. It's also my favorite Ghibli movie. So, once again, maybe nostalgia is playing a bit of a factor here. But I liked it. I'm not a fan of Disney's redub of Totoro. Redub? You mean they dubbed it again? I didn't hear about that. But yeah. Castlevania Nocturne Season 1 really disappointed me, but my bros suggest I check out Season 2. You know, that's always the thing. You watch, like, one season or one episode of something, and then your friend who's, like, egging you on to be a fan of this thing so you can talk about it together, they're like, oh, no, it gets really good once you get 100 episodes in. That's always the thing. I've encountered this many times. The all-star cast for Ghibli movies throw me off. Yeah, I don't 20th Century Fox had a dub of Totoro first. It was better. I think that's probably the version that I saw. But I don't really remember that much happening in My Neighbor Totoro. Then again, maybe I just watched it at a bad time. I don't know. But I struggle to remember anything happening in that movie. I remember, like, the rainy scene where they meet Totoro, and that's it. I can't remember a single other scene from that movie. I swear I watched the whole thing, but it just, I guess, I don't know. I just can't remember it. Thanks for the 20, Matthew. If you were abducted by aliens, would you want to be in the zoo or the circus? I would want to kill all the aliens who abducted me. I would choose revolution or death. This is like a funny scenario, though. Because Adam had like a very similar what-if scenario that he laid out to people at his college a long time ago. For those of you who don't know, Adam went to a liberal arts school. And, you know, the question started off with, like, if aliens took over the world, would you allow yourself to be in a zoo? And a lot of people would say yes. And then somehow the question evolved to, if aliens were invading Earth and you could potentially win against their invasion, would you fight back? And then people were really weird about it. Instead of being like, yeah, I would protect the Earth, they were all like, no, I would betray all of humanity and side with the aliens to destroy all my family, friends, and everybody else on Earth. Okay. That's a little bit extreme. I wouldn't do that. I would fight for you guys. Let me be perfectly clear. I would help save the Earth. Me personally, I would like to save people. I don't want you guys to die. But yeah, people were really weird about fighting against aliens. I don't really understand why. I wasn't there when this happened. Adam just relayed this information to me. And he tried to explain it, where it's just like, yeah, some people are really pessimistic and they've grown to just hate the world and hate themselves. And because of that, they would be the first to jump on board to help the world be destroyed, even if it's self-sabotaging. Even if it's not good for you. You know? And that's really insane. That's crazy that there are people out there like that who just, you know, go through life thinking that way. But you know. So many doomers in chat, sorry. I usually try to avoid doomer topics because sometimes there are some doomer things people take away from certain discussions. Anything else that's happening? Let me see. Well, I'm almost done the side comic that I was doing. And the plan is, once I am officially done that side comic, I'm gonna go full on with Reaper. Just full attention. Try my best to finish that, but it's gonna take a while. It's kind of intimidating how long it's gonna take to finish Reaper. Not gonna lie. But as far as the side comic goes, I have like 2 panels left. Not even 2 pages, 2 panels. So that's good. Oh. lost internet for a little bit. That's a little bit weird. What's up with that? What am I losing internet for? Anyway, I was gonna say, it's another dark fantasy comic that I'm doing on the side. Can't really share much about it until... Yeah, I don't know what I'm losing internet. You know, something about this area. It just, for some reason, the internet just will occasionally go out for no reason. Don't know why. I don't know why. It's a little bit weird. But yeah. So once I'm done that side comic, it'll be good stuff. And then I can focus on Reaper, and it's gonna take a while. You know, at one point I was like, I could probably finish 2 Reaper books in 1 year. No, I can't. I think we're probably gonna go for like a book a year at this rate. But I'm feeling pretty confident that the second book is going to have much better art. And I'm excited about that. Very excited about that. So I hope you stick with me on this journey as I continue the Reaper series, because I am really excited. And I guess another thing that you guys can expect is a manga review I'm gonna do next week. It's a paid review, another indie crowd. They're doing independent manga. So you can look forward to me reviewing Excelsior next week coming up. I just gotta like take the time to actually sit down and go over my thoughts and make it into a decent review, of course. But yeah, man, I already like kind of exhausted myself just reminding me how much work I gotta do for Reaper Book 2. 180 pages, guys, all by myself. That's a lot of dedication right there. But hopefully it'll all be worth it in the end. And then I gotta work on book 3 and it just keeps on going. I do have other comic ideas too. And part of me wonders, like, you know, should I do other side comics while working on the Reaper series, or should I just focus on getting out Reaper books as quickly as possible? It's really difficult to make that decision exactly, because usually when you're starting a series, it's good to get out each book as quick as possible so that people don't forget about it. At the same time, though, you know, maybe you can pull in more readers by trying to explore different genres and different ideas. Who knows? Yeah. Kind of got a 1,000-yard stare when you said all by myself. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I feel like the pressure of all the work now, especially because I want the art to look much better as we go forward. I don't want to backslide. I want to keep on improving in certain sections. And that's why I really did the side comic before actually starting Reaper Book 2. It's because I wanted to give myself a little bit of time to try and perfect the style and work on things that I struggled with when I was doing Book 1, so that Book 2 would come out looking that much more better. And I'd like to get feedback on the side comic too. Maybe if there are other people out there who've done like manga-esque style black and white comics, it'd be good to get some other opinions on it, like see where they think I need to focus on improving to make the second book look really good. Because I really really want to make it a legit series that people want to read and wanna buy naturally. Of course. Don't wanna backslide. Never. Just comparing Horizon Quest and Reaper had crazy improvement. Yes, and we're gonna keep on improving. That's the idea. They just keep on going. Would you ever consider getting an assistant or something? Oh, I've considered an assistant before. Yeah. The issue is, of course, you have to pay them for their time. And, not that I don't make any money off of comics, it's just kind of not enough to really justify getting an assistant. If I did have an assistant, obviously the books would be coming out at a much faster pace. Maybe even we'd see some improvement in the art because maybe I wouldn't have to cut corners here and there. But then the issue is you have to be able to pay for it. And that's the thing with like the manga industry. They pay the creator, right, a certain amount of money. It's essentially the budget for the manga is what the publisher is paying them. And they can do all the work themselves if they can keep up with the deadline, but mostly, majority of the time, they do have to hire assistants to help them keep up with their deadline. And so the money that they get paid, they end up dividing up and paying assistants to help them get it done. Pay them in experience. I don't know if I could do that to somebody. But yeah, I am excited to get book 2 done. I'd like to get some early feedback too with that as I finish up some things, because it's still kind of in its editing process, Why did I have trouble saying that word? It's still kind of within its editing process. A couple of things, like the first draft was done, and now I'm working on the second draft. I'd like to get a few more opinions on it before I do all of the art anyways. We'll see how it goes, Gotta finish up the side comic first, and then it's full-blown Reaper work. Whew. And and then we're just gonna go on this crazy train together. We'll just see where this goes. But I'm pretty excited for it. Yeah. On top of all of that, also, Adam, my boyfriend, is thinking about starting up a D&D group. That could be something to do for fun, I suppose. It's kind of an interesting story about how this came to be. One of our friends got kicked out of their D&D group. Not for doing anything wrong, exactly, but just because his politics did not align with other people in the group. Take that as you will. So, I'll take this opportunity to say, keep friends that are actually your friends and not just going to be friends with you based on convenience. I was like, oh man, it's really inconvenient for me to have you as a friend because you're making all my other crazy friends upset or whatever by existing. So I guess you gotta leave the D&D group. Not fun. Not fun stuff. How can fantasy and politics mix? Yeah, well, that's the thing. He was pretty upfront about what his politics were. It's not like he surprised them with it all of a sudden or anything. They knew what his politics were when he entered the group. And originally it did not matter. it's not even as though he was being political during them playing the game or anything. You know, everything was fairly cordial. But, you know, after the last election, I guess some people just went a little bit nutso. What can you say? Yeah, what can you say? But yeah, it's all the more reason why we wanted to start our own group to give him a place. And yeah, Adam already wanted to do a role-playing campaign with him already. So it's a nice segue into something better. Yeah, TDS. Exactly. What are you gonna do? But it is what it is. It is what it is. What I take away from it is, you know, don't have fair weather friends. Get the good friends. The type that'll stand by you and defend you. When you have to worry about, like, a bunch of people in a D&D group trying to cancel you. Yeesh. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to go over, but I can't quite remember. There was something else that I wanted to talk about on this stream. But we've just kind of gone all over the place, haven't we? Now I can't remember. Damn. Oh well. It probably wasn't that important, or if it was important, we can always go over it for the next Friday with Dannphan stream, of course. New Yakuza game? No, I don't think it was about that. Aliens, Bigfoot, yeah. Yeah, because I talk about them all the time. Ugh, let me just readjust here. There we go. Well, I guess we're going to 2 conventions this year. That'll be fun. Going to Garden State Anime Fest, and then we're going to Garden State Comic Fest. Yeah, we're staying in the Garden State this time. We might go to BasedCon again. But that's something we'll have to figure out later. It's so weird because D&D players are so mentally balanced. What is that? Sarcasm? I'll have you know I've played like 3 D&D games. The first D&D campaign I ever had, everybody in the group was very flaky. It's just 90% flakiness. It was a complete roll of the dice who was gonna show up, and most of the time wouldn't even have any warning or reason to why they didn't show up. Just no word from them. They're just gone. And it's one person that I was playing with, our first D&D campaign, right? We were like kind of reaching the end story of the campaign. This one person, she had 2 different characters because one of them like died, and then she, you know, played another character, but then her other character came back to life, so then she got the privilege of playing like 2 characters at the same time, right? And she betrayed me with both of her characters for no reason. She kind of just didn't know what she was doing, quite honestly. She thought she was playing like 4D chess, like, oh, I'm gonna pretend I'm working on the villain side. And it's like, but I'm dead now. Whatever you thought was going to happen, it did not. You've ruined everything. Anyway. There are... Yeah. That's not even the worst of it, but most of the frustration comes just from the flakiness. Anyway, we're getting towards the end of the stream, so feel free to ask any questions or anything that you need to know from me or would like to know from me, any like video requests, etc, etc. Now is the time before I head out of here. And once again, I'll remind you, yes, way long back, issues 4 and 5. You can even get issues 1 through 3 as well on the website. Check them out. Check out the print bundles. There they are. Check out the print bundles. Get all issues 1 through 4 in print. You can get the variants and the original covers. Good stuff. Good stuff. Lots of good comics up there on the website. I'd recommend. Let's see, more manga videos? Can do. It's, you know, it's been a little bit difficult deciding which manga I should be, like, covering. Because I feel like I have different tastes than maybe most people. I am the type of person who's, like, reading the manga that everybody else has never heard of. Meanwhile, everybody's, like, reading, what was it, Korobaki, and I'm over here reading Akun or whatever. But thanks for the 10, Matthew. Run a dating campaign based on Reaper Universe and then hella farm storylines. I don't need to farm storylines, but that would be a funny way of like testing a story to see if people like it. Any of those animes? Oh, did you mention anime? Let me go back up. I don't recognize any of these. Sorry, bro. Do you work out? Not really. I draw comics. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of working out involved in doing that. Thoughts on the brand new Spider-Man shoe? Oh, brand new Nike Spider-Man shoe coming out, huh? No. The Spider-Man show? Yeah. I saw clips from it. It hurts my eyes. I don't like looking at it. It is, unfortunately, quite ugly. I don't know anything about the writing. I never had the audio on when I was looking at clips of it. But, if it's anything like the visuals, I can't imagine it's very good. Dannphan, what is your favorite weapon, real or fictional? Well, I don't know. I guess the meta answer is like a longsword because it's kind of just the best. Unless we're talking about modern weapons, in which like, I don't know, nukes, tanks, they're pretty good. Pretty good, right? Pretty good stuff. Guns, eh? There's all kinds of different guns, of course. What is your favorite mythical creature? It's a lot. There's a lot of creatures out there. Once again, I could do the meta answer and say dragon. I do like unicorns. I know. It's very girly girl thing to say. I had a unicorn steed in Oblivion. It was very cool being a crusader riding a unicorn. It's a vibe I recommend. My werewolf claws are my weapons. There you go. My favorite texture to feel? Nothing. I don't like feeling anything. Every part of my body would be numb if I had the choice. Feeling is overrated. Alright, guys. I think we'll call it here. thanks for joining me on Friday with Dannphan. We've had a pretty good week so far. We finally got back to uploading some videos. I have a comic review out next week, as well as the thrift store anime reviews. I did finish all of those anime, and I wanted to do the thrift store anime review video. I think that'll be a really fun video to do. Look forward to it. I don't know when it'll come out. I have not recorded it yet, but it's coming. So there you go. Till then, everybody, I will see you next time. I'll see you next week, and perhaps even next Friday on the Friday streams. The best content on this channel. We get the Friday streams. Check out burningstarcomics.net. Thank you for tuning in as per usual. And good night, everybody. Bye.